it almost feels fanciful to think, oh, Liverpool would spend all this money, but then the links won't go away, and if the sales keep coming in, then they'll maybe feel like it is a possibility. You know, they certainly won't do something like this every summer, but maybe one, they'll feel like they can. What have you made of the Isak stuff that's come out over the last 24 hours, you know, particularly around this contract?
Yeah, so it was Martin Hardy in the Times, wasn't he, who wrote the story that Newcastle are looking to get him tied down to a new contract. You know, he's hugely well connected in the North East, Martin. I know that much, so, you know, it will have some serious foundation. But interestingly, I did read the story, and there's a lot of mentions of Liverpool around, even if he is Newcastle's highest earner, you know, he wouldn't be anywhere near Liverpool's if he was to come in. You know, we know that is the sort of Mo Salah territory, isn't it? But even, you know, the sorts of, you know, Florian Wirtz coming in on a certain amount, you know, that I think that would be more than what Isak would stand to earn at Newcastle. So, from a wages point of view, Liverpool have never scrimped on stage, really. You know, I think only Man City pay more in the Premier League, and they're in the top 5 in the world. So, would they be able to add Alexander Isak to that wage bill? I think looking at it now, I don't think you can second guess Liverpool, can you? Because I think a lot of people were surprised the price point of Florian Wirtz, and Liverpool have gone and done it and obliterated their own transfer record by, what, 30 million or something like that. So it's a hugely exciting link. For me, would be the dream signing, you know, to lead Liverpool's number 9. But I think, you know, reading the tea leaves and speaking to people, I think at the moment it's a case of just waiting and seeing. I think Liverpool have been very proactive in what they've done. They've had a really massive June, and they're in a position now where they can sort of take a step back and see what develops and what emerges. And if Isak, if there is some, you know, if that does drag on a little bit, or he makes it known that perhaps, you know, he's had his head turned by interest elsewhere, then perhaps Liverpool could come to the forefront with a deal. But I think at the moment it's very much a case of waiting and seeing. And you know, you mentioned here about if they were to buy him, it would take to spending up to the best part of 300 million, which is remarkable, really, for a club like Liverpool. But yeah, I guess, given that they barely spent anything since the summer of 2023, looking at it over the course of those windows, it's probably not, you know, not an incredible amount if you break it down across those windows rather than just this specific summer.
Yeah, and that's how they'll look at it, and they'll look at these players and how long they're likely to play for Liverpool for, and you know, because of their ages, and think, well, you know, these are getting these key positions sorted, and he's agreed in left back, by the way, because he's a young guy. He's getting these key positions sorted for sort of a long time, and they won't need to be touched. Do you sense that there's a certain level of player now that Liverpool are looking at, and they're not really looking at below? And it certainly feels like that for me as centre forward. I'm seeing a few who I'm thinking, oh, maybe surprised they're not being linked with Liverpool because they seem like a tier down. But you know, if you can't get Isak, then would they go for one of those? But it seems to me that if it's not Isak or maybe Alvarez, who I think they seem to like as well, they're happy to stick with what they've got or wait another year.
Yeah, I think they are possibly shopping in a bit of a different market nowadays. You know, I think buying Florian Wirtz is a blockbuster of a deal, isn't it, in terms of the price, but also the profile of the player. You know, Bundesliga Player of the Year, who Bayern Munich were after. Liverpool, certainly in the Jurgen Klopp era, you know, they haven't tended to go for the players who've been absolute top end, have they? You know, they've sort of moulded these players into the world class bracket rather than buying them already there, which is a bit of a break from tradition. But it's exciting to see. You know, Liverpool certainly at least linked with Alexander Isak, who is possibly outside of Erling Haaland the best goal scorer, you know, number 9 in the Premier League. And Wirtz I can't speak highly enough of. So I think there is a little bit of a difference, maybe a shift in strategy and focus at Liverpool now, in terms of they are looking at number 1 targets. Kerkez absolutely is that number 1 target. Frimpong, okay, they would have liked to have seen Trent stay, but once that became clear that he wasn't going to stay, then they had to sort of get a few ducks in a row, and I think they got a really exciting player in there as well. So yeah, I think it's just such an exciting time to be a Liverpool supporter, to be covering Liverpool, to be following them. And you know, we'll see what happens with Alexander Isak, and that would really just take it up there. And if Liverpool aren't already favourites for the Premier League, that would certainly make them, you know, not nailed on, but you know, good chance. Who's going to stop them?
I hope you're enjoying this free show at the moment. Loads of excellent, exciting stuff on the Anfield app. If you want to be part of the whole thing, you can download the Anfield app and go from there. Or you can subscribe via the YouTube membership as well for video-only content and other bits and pieces. We love doing these shows. We love that you watch them. So come, be part of the journey with us.